Is it actually worth leaving your family? Can I survive in France without French? How expensive is student life? How do I even start the process? It's finally time for me to speak openly about this journey. If you're planning to study in France or honestly anywhere abroad, this video might help you more than you think. Because when I moved from India to France for my masters, there were so many things nobody properly explained to me. Not just the pretty online Instagram side, but the real side. The loneliness, the pressure, the accommodation stress, the language barrier, missing your family, and also the moments that completely change your life forever. And recently, I've been receiving so many messages from students asking me about things like, is it actually worth leaving your family? Can I survive in France without French? How expensive is student life? How do I even start the process? And honestly, after reading all those messages, I realized it's finally time for me to speak openly about this journey. So if you're someone dreaming about studying in France, this series is for you. And trust me, I'm going to tell you things that people usually don't. But before I talk about France itself, let me tell you how this dream even started. So my dream of studying abroad actually started around 2019 to 2020 before my bachelor's. At that time, my plan was actually London. But then COVID happened and I kind of gave up on that dream. I thought maybe it just wasn't meant to happen anymore. But then one day, completely randomly, my dad asked me if I would want to study abroad. And I still remember how shocked and happy I felt in that moment. So, we were thinking about certain options such as Dubai, France, even Germany for that matter. And I chose France immediately because I've always loved tourism, hospitality, luxury, and somehow that all connects to France. More specifically, Paris. For me, France always felt magical. And I think somewhere deep inside me, I always knew that I would end up here one day. But dreaming about France and actually moving here are two completely different things. Because before moving, I had so many emotions, so many questions, so many doubts and confusions. Obviously, I was excited, but I was also very concerned. Not scared exactly, but just wondering how is my life actually going to be there? Because I had literally never even left my city before. Forget another country on a totally different continent. But honestly, the moment I entered the airport to board my flight, something kind of shifted inside me. It suddenly felt real. And I think that's the exact moment my life started changing. Now, I want to talk about one of the biggest mistakes I made before moving to France. And if you're planning to come here, please listen carefully to this part. Please, please, please book your accommodation before moving to France. This is one mistake that created so much stress for me in the beginning. And honestly, the reason I delayed it was because I was intimidated. The deposits, booking fee, rent, hidden charges, everything felt overwhelming. Most of the accommodation platforms were mostly online. There were no actual humans properly guiding me, reassuring me the place was safe or genuine. And because of that, I kept delaying everything. But trust me, accommodation in France is not something that you should leave for last moment. Especially if you're moving to cities like Paris. And honestly, because I struggled so much myself with the accommodation in the beginning, now whenever students message me feeling confused or overwhelmed, I genuinely try helping them personally. So if you're planning to move to France or even Europe for that matter as a student, and you need help understanding accommodation options, feel free to message me directly on my Instagram. I usually guide students personally first according to their budget, the city they are going to be staying in, and their situation, and then connect them with trusted accommodation support so the process feels less stressful and confusing. Because trust me, when you're moving countries alone for the first time, even one genuine person guiding you makes a huge difference. And honestly, accommodation, yes, it was a shock for me, but it wasn't even the hardest one. The next thing I'm going to talk about is something I still regret till today. Do not come to France without learning French. Seriously. Yes, I was using Duolingo before moving, but it was literally bonjour, merci, and bon appétit. That's it. And I genuinely regret not learning French properly before coming here because language changes everything in France. Your confidence, your opportunities, your networking, even your daily life. And even after 2 years, I am still learning and improving. So, if you're planning to move here, please start learning French from today itself. Trust me, future you will thank you. Now, let's talk about the academic side. My university experience was not what I expected in the beginning. I originally wanted to do an MBA, but because my admission process started pretty late, and since we went through a counselor, I honestly didn't fully understand all the options at that time. And I ended up joining Montpellier Business School in the Masters in Management program. To be honest, during the first weeks, I genuinely had no idea what I had signed up for. The first semester was very overwhelming. The classes were long, like morning 8 am to evening 5 pm, sometimes even 8 pm. And adjusting to a new country at the same time was not easy at all. But slowly, things started getting better. And for my second academic year, I chose MSc in Luxury Marketing. And truly, that became one of the best parts of my academic journey. I learned so much, practically and theoretically, and I genuinely feel grateful for that experience now. But honestly, moving abroad is never just your journey. Your family goes through it emotionally too. My dad was very supportive because he has always wanted me to grow and become independent. But at the same time, he was also concerned whether I would truly value this opportunity well. And my mom, she honestly did not want me to leave because I had never even lived outside my city before. So for her, sending me alone to another country was extremely emotional and scary. Even till the last moment, she wasn't really ready to let me go. And I think many students watching this right now will relate with this feeling. Because when one person studies abroad, the whole family goes through the journey emotionally. Okay, now let's talk about the daily life in France. Because social media often romanticizes studying abroad a bit too much. Yes, there are beautiful things about France. And there are difficult things too. One amazing thing is that student life here is supported in many ways. For example, in Montpellier, the city where I live in, the transportation is basically free. There are student benefits, food support systems, and many things genuinely designed to help students. And honestly, I really appreciate those things about France. But at the same time, life here can get very expensive very quickly. Rent is expensive, groceries add up, travel adds up, subscriptions, phone bills, daily expenses. And because you're abroad, sometimes you lose track of spending very easily. So budgeting becomes very important. But I think the biggest misconception people have is this. They think moving abroad magically fixes their life. And to be honest, that's not true. Moving abroad changes your life, yes, but it also comes with responsibilities you've never taken before. Cooking, cleaning, paperwork, visa renewals, studies, job hunt, a lot of things. You literally become responsible for your entire life. And sometimes that can become extremely overwhelming, especially in the beginning. And yes, with all this also comes loneliness sometimes. And I want to speak honestly about that too. There were moments when I felt very lonely, especially during the beginning. And at that time, what helped me was staying connected with my family. My parents never made me feel forgotten or alone in any way. We still speak every single day. And apart from that, I slowly learned to enjoy my own company as well. Sometimes I would just go out, eat something nice, walk around the city, get a coffee or gelato, and slowly I started building a life for myself here. And I think that's one beautiful thing about moving abroad. You slowly meet a completely new version of yourself. Like really, moving here changed me in ways I never expected. I was already independent in India too. I used to work, help in my father's business, manage responsibilities, but France changed me differently. I became more confident, more expressive, more poised. And honestly, I started learning how to truly enjoy my life too. One thing that helped me the most here is understanding how important kindness is, and also realizing that in France, networking and language matter a lot. You don't get opportunities only through your grades here. People need to know you, connect with you, and trust you. But despite all the struggles, there are moments that make everything feel worth it. And I think every international student has that one moment. For me, one unforgettable moment was the New Year's 2026. I experienced the first ever snowfall of my life in Paris. And genuinely, the child inside me was screaming, crying, and so happy. And moments like that make you realize how far you've come. Even now, simple things make me happy, like speaking French and being understood, or randomly traveling across Europe for a weekend, or simply sitting in a cafe and realizing, wow, this is my life now. Like, I actually live here. So, after everything, the struggles, the loneliness, the stress, the beautiful moments, would I still choose this life again? Honestly, yes. If you are someone dreaming about studying in France, I just want to tell you this honestly. Do not let fear stop you. Prepare properly, learn French, research your accommodation, plan your finances. But don't stop yourself from experiencing life. Because moving abroad changes you in ways you cannot even imagine right now. You discover new places, new people, but most importantly, you discover yourself. And trust me, that journey is beautiful. And this is just the beginning of this series. In the next videos, I'm going to talk about visas, campus France, accommodation, expenses, internships, jobs, literally everything step by step. So, if you're on this journey too, subscribe to Your Sakhi in France. And if you have any questions regarding studying in France, moving abroad, accommodations, internships, honestly anything at all, leave them in the comments or message me on my Instagram. I read everything and I am here to answer those. I will see you in the next episode. Until then, bye-bye.